Hello and welcome back to the David67 Celtic News YouTube channel. Today's video going to be a wee roundup of all the transfer stories, loan stories, rumours, ins and outs linked to Celtic, and all are accurate as to around 2:30 on Thursday afternoon, the 29th of August. Any wee changes to the stories, the rumours, any new players, any deals that go through or are about to go through that change between now and the planned live stream this evening at 5 o'clock till 6 o'clock. I'll update and change as best I can in the live stream tonight at 5 o'clock. All welcome to join in as we watch to see who the 8 teams Celtic will be drawn against in the upcoming Champions League new format that starts in 3 weeks' time or so in mid-September. Before we do crack on with the video itself, please do, if you are new to the channel, please do click that subscribe button. We've pushed past 900, so aiming for 950 and then the main target of 1000, which opens up new options for the channel. Please do click that like button if you like the video, and comment section open for pleasant, polite debating points, opinions, thoughts regarding the topics of the video, players being linked with Celtic, etc., and any other Celtic issues. So, since yesterday's video, there's been a big change in Celtic's transfer targets. Matthias Bogusz of Los Angeles FC, it appears LAFC are not going to sell Matthias Bogusz in this transfer window. This is very similar to how they responded to a couple of offers for Bogusz in the winter 2024 transfer window, where they were given a few offers but chose to keep hold of the player. He's been a great success for them this season. He is still under contract for them until 2027. And not surprisingly, they have decided to keep Bogusz at LA for the rest of the Major League Soccer season. They're playing a cup semi-final against Seattle, and they carry on in the league. I do wonder whether this is a deal that Celtic maybe comes back to in the winter window, as transfers are much more easy to organise from Major League Soccer once they shut down for the close season part of their competition and prior to reopening in the spring. So Matthias Bogusz is off the negotiation table, and Celtic have restarted negotiations and talks with FC Lausanne regarding their very talented Swiss under-21 attacking midfielder and central midfielder Alvin Sanchez. I've done a couple of videos on Alvin Sanchez in the past, including one which had highlight reels and some in-depth stats, so do have a wee look back at those couple of videos within the David67 channel library. I do think Alvin Sanchez is a very high potential young attacking midfielder. Does actually have the ability to battle in midfield as well, but is especially good in terms of passing, is a good finisher, has a good powerful shot, and I think he could be a player who over the next season or two could turn into a very high quality player for Celtic in Scottish and European football. and I think he is good enough, certainly, to come in and be a very powerful sub coming off the bench, and within, I think, a month or two, if he did come to us, would be challenging to be a regular week in, week out starter, depending on how the Arne Engels deal goes. Also over the next 33 hours prior to the summer transfer window shutting at 2300, 11 p.m. Tomorrow, Friday evening. So it is said that Celtic are back in negotiations with FC Lausanne. There were earlier talks, and it did appear that Celtic had come to a preferred bid of £4 million, which Lausanne were considering accepting, and Alvin Sanchez is said to be very keen to come to Celtic for the Champions League games that would then become part of that, and it could well be that deal does go through over the course of today and tomorrow morning, and then that should allow time for all the paperwork, etc., to be completed on Friday prior to the window shutting late on Friday evening. So fingers crossed for that one, because I do think he is potentially actually a better player than Matthias Bogusz. Celtic do still have a £10 million offer on the table for Arne Engels of Augsburg. Has gone a wee bit quiet with that one, which maybe does suggest that Augsburg and Celtic are in deeper negotiations and are close to a confirmation and a final package. And so, again, hopefully over the next few hours into Friday morning, we'll see that one keep on progressing to a conclusion that's in Celtic's favour. And as I mentioned in previous videos, Arne Engels apparently has already agreed his personal terms package with Celtic, and so that would go through quickly, assuming that the two clubs and finance people can come to a final conclusion on the basic price and add-ons and sell-on clauses, etc. Similarly, Sheffield Celtic upped their bid from 5 million to 5.5 million. It's thought that Sheffield United's price might be in the region of £6 million or £7 million. Sheffield United, as yet, as of 2 o'clock-ish on Thursday afternoon, haven't got back to Celtic with a yes or a no. And they are now clarifying that they never actually had a confirmed deal for Mikey Johnston, and it was simply an inquiry, but there was never a price agreed or even offered by Celtic. And so it does look like Mikey Johnston was never a part exchange part of that deal for Aaron Trusty. There could be a small hold up with work permit and visa for Austin Trusty, who is an American international. However, it is thought that a work permit and visa request would go through very quickly, as there should be no hold ups, given the fact he's been playing in England for a couple of seasons and has those permits, etc., already, having played for Birmingham and Sheffield United, and has one currently to carry on playing for Sheffield United. I do think he actually would be a good left-sided centre-back. I think he would be an upgrade on Liam Scales, and I think he would also give Celtic a bit more power and height in defence, and I think he could well be a good addition to the squad and should work well with his fellow USA international squad mate Cameron Carter-Vickers. Mentioning Mikey Johnston, it now appears that the decision regarding Mikey Johnston's transfer away from the club is between Burnley and West Bromwich Albion, and recent stories are saying that Mikey Johnston is keen to go back to West Bromwich Albion, and there are also stories that a medical has actually been arranged for Mikey Johnston for West Bromwich Albion, and that he should be signing for them later today or tomorrow. And as I said, it does appear that any kind of part exchange deal for Austin Trusty with Mickey Johnston as part of the bargain, part of the offer, does appear to be off the table. Celtic are said to be retaining an interest in signing Luke McCowan of Dundee, and that does actually raise a potential issue for Celtic, given the fact that we've got the Champions League draw today. In that Celtic do seem a wee bit short of homegrown players and Scottish trained players, especially if Mikey Johnston leaves the club today. As previously, we were relying also on players like James McCarthy and David Turnbull to make up the quota in last year's Champions League squad. And so it may well be Luke McCowan is used as midfield cover and also as a Champions League option to add to the homegrown and Scottish trained quota. And so just to finish off, as mentioned at the start of the video, I am planning to do a live stream of the Champions League draw this afternoon at 1700, 5 o'clock PM British Summer Time. It's just going to be a basic live stream, as I haven't got all the fancy software some of the other channels have got. Although if the live stream does go well, I will invest into some of the software that can make the live streams better. Just going to put up the pots for the draw. There are now 36 teams in the Champions League, split into 4 pots of 9. We are in pot number 3, and basically the draw is done by computer, in essence. Mentioned in the description that balls will be taken out, and then the computer chooses which set of 8 teams that team plays. It'll be interesting to see how all that actually works. But in essence, each team draws 2 teams from pot 1, 2 teams from pot 2, 2 teams from pot 3, and 2 teams from pot 4. We could be a bit lucky with some of the teams in pot 1, 2, 3, and 4. And one of the other factors is you can't play more than 2 teams from one country, and also you can't play a team from your own country, although that doesn't apply to Celtic, but it would apply obviously to the English, Spanish, German clubs, etc. So do join me if you can. From approximately 5 PM through to 6 PM this evening. We can watch the Champions League draw together. If you are joining the live stream, you'll need to have access to one of the various different forms of watching the draw live, such as through TNT Sports, the BBC Sports site, or the UEFA.com live stream site. As I'm not able to share any kind of screens or other live feeds as part of the live streams as things stand with my YouTube privileges. So, as I said, any changes to the transfer window between now to 2:30ish on Thursday afternoon and the live stream between 5 and 6, I will do my best to update in any wee gaps and bits where there's chatting going on the screen live at UEFA headquarters. And so just to finish off, we polite suggestion to, if you haven't already subscribed to the channel, do please subscribe to the channel. Do like the video if you like the video, and comment section open as usual. And so until the next video, or until the live stream later this afternoon, goodbye and hail, hail.